The eyes in the shadows. It started with the feeling of being watched. Subtle at first, like the prickling sensation you get when someone's eyes linger on you from across a room. But this was different. It followed me everywhere, at work, at the grocery store, even in my own home. I'd glance around, searching for the source, but I never saw anyone. I tried to shake it off, blaming it on stress and lack of sleep. After all, I had just gone through a rough breakup. My ex, Lena, was the one who told me I was becoming paranoid. She said I was pushing her away with my constant worrying, and maybe she was right. But since she left, that feeling of being watched had only grown worse. One evening, as I was sitting alone in my living room, the sensation became unbearable. It was like eyes were pressing in from every corner of the room, waiting. I stood up, pacing, trying to rationalize it. That's when I noticed something odd, a dark shape outside the window. It was just past dusk, and the dim light of the street lamp barely illuminated the yard, but I could see it, a figure standing still just beyond the tree line, half hidden in the shadows. My heart thudded in my chest. I rubbed my eyes thinking it was some trick of the light, but when I looked again, it was still there. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and dialed Lena's number out of habit. She didn't pick up. Why would she? We hadn't spoken in weeks. I hung up before the voicemail clicked on and walked to the window, feeling a ridiculous need to confront whoever or whatever was out there. But when I opened the door and stepped onto the porch, the figure was gone. Only the whisper of wind and the rustle of leaves greeted me. The next few nights were worse. I started closing all the curtains, locking the doors, and keeping the lights on. But the feeling persisted. I could feel the eyes on me, watching, waiting. I barely slept. The creaking of the old house only made things worse, each sound a reminder that I wasn't alone. Then one night I saw them clearly. I had woken up around 3 a.m., drenched in sweat. My bedroom was silent, the darkness thick and suffocating. I rolled over, trying to shake off the nightmare I'd been having when I felt it. The sensation of eyes, hundreds of them, fixed on me. I sat up, my breath catching in my throat. At the far end of my bedroom, near the open closet door, I saw them. Two glinting yellow eyes staring out from the blackness. For a second, I thought it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But then they moved. A shape stepped forward from the shadows, humanoid but wrong. Its limbs were long and spindly, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. The eyes never blinked, just stayed fixed on me as it stepped closer. My body froze, paralyzed by terror. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. It stopped just a few feet from the bed, crouching low as if ready to pounce. The yellow eyes flickered, and then I saw them. More eyes. Dozens of them staring from the corners of the room, from the ceiling, from the spaces where the shadows thickened. They were everywhere watching me. I grabbed my phone, my hands shaking so violently I could barely dial. I called Lena again, desperate. She picked up this time, groggy and annoyed. "What?" she muttered. "They're here," I whispered, my voice trembling. "The eyes, they're in my house." "What are you talking about?" she sighed. "This is exactly why we broke up, you know? You're always—" "They're real, Lena," I shouted, my voice breaking. "I can see them. They're in the room with me right now." Silence stretched on the other end of the line. Then she spoke again, her voice softer, more uncertain. You've seen them too." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I hadn't expected that. Not at all. "What do you mean?" I stammered. "You've seen them?" She paused, then whispered, "They followed me after I left. I thought I was losing my mind." The line crackled, and for a moment I heard something else in the background, a faint whisper, or maybe the sound of breathing. My heart pounded as the thing in front of me shifted, crawling closer, its eyes glowing brighter. "We have to go," I said, my voice frantic. "We have to leave." But before I could hang up, the call cut out. Silence enveloped me once again, save for the soft creaking of the thing inching closer. Its face, or what passed for a face, was now inches from mine, its eyes piercing into my soul. I scrambled backward, falling off the bed in a blind panic. The room seemed to warp and twist around me, the shadows growing thicker, darker. The eyes multiplied, filling every inch of the room until there was nothing but blackness and those glowing yellow orbs. I screamed, stumbling to my feet, but it was too late. They were everywhere, surrounding me, suffocating me. And then, in a voice that seemed to come from all directions at once, I heard it. We've always been watching. The last thing I saw before the darkness consumed me were the eyes. Hundreds of them, blinking in the shadows. And now I know they'll never stop watching.